Hi everyone. As I'm continuing on this video series on my book, the next chapter of my book is called Radical Grief. And you may be wondering exactly what that means. As I was rereading this chapter, it was in a way a little difficult to read because part of it talks about the struggles that I had with Leah as a teenager. And life wasn't always super rosy back then. It was difficult. It was not something that it was probably a very typical mother-daughter relationship. And I didn't sugarcoat our relationship when I was writing about it. And I really felt the energy of our relationship coming off the page at me. And remembering that was difficult. Radical grief to me means that in order to grieve for my daughter, I needed to be in touch with my radical self. And I realize now that one of the things I was doing was helping her to be in touch with her radical self so that she could make good decisions in her life. And what does that mean, my radical self, her radical self? Well, radical to me means being in touch with exactly who I am, not who someone else wanted me to be, not who society wanted me to be, but who I really am. And I think so many of us struggled with that growing up, and maybe even as adults. I know that I did. And so by getting in touch with who I am, I was also able to grieve in the way that I was called to grieve. And that's what I mean by radical grief or my radical self. And I often talk too about radical self-care. And that's finding the self-care that is right for you. Not what you read on Facebook or what you read in a magazine. Those are all helpful. And then you can take those suggestions and bring them inside and find out just exactly what you need for you. One of the things that my grief journey did was to help me to birth the woman that I am today. I had been doing a lot of work on it up until then. And through the course of my grief journey, I was able to allow the fullness of who I am to step into, first of all, to step into my body. It was a very embodied practice, journey, because I couldn't do it from my head. My head wanted to tell me all kinds of things that weren't helpful. So by embracing the radical nature of my being, and I call it my Nancy-ness, because there may be more Nancys in the world, but there is only one Nancy-ness there's only one Nancy who holds my Nancy-ness and who shows up in the world as my Nancy-ness. And I at the right point in our work together, I also give that gift to my clients and have them begin thinking of themselves as their name with an S on it, because that really helps to put them in touch with the essence of who they are. Thanks for watching this video series. And if you have any questions for me, if you would like to learn how to be in touch with your own radical nature, if you would like to learn where your grief journey is calling you, I'd love to have a conversation. Until next time.